Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Kasia Kynes, CEO and founder of EBV Global Institute, and today is an exciting training. You're going to learn everything you need to know as a parent if your child has EBV. And also, if you're not sure if your child has EBV, I'm going to walk you through the process. It's going to be empowering and very hopeful. I hope. Just bear with me. I'm a little sleep deprived. We are packing. I am in the middle of a move. This is the only place that hasn't been packed yet. So I'm a little sleep deprived and a little under the weather, understandably. So I'm going to rely on my notes a little bit more. So just be forgiving if I repeat myself. I'm going to be trying to be really focused. So the bad news and the good news, let's start with that. Children can get really sick with EBV, regardless of the age. But the good news is that children respond to appropriate therapies really like a dream, very fast. And so between the dietary, lifestyle, and supplement interventions, they go fast, they can recover. So this is going to be a very empowering training. In the training today, we'll discuss when to suspect that your child has developed Epstein-Barr virus infection, how to properly diagnose it. Misdiagnosis is common, and I don't want you to fall through these cracks and then spiral into a rabbit hole of therapies and unnecessary procedures and so on and so forth. And then number 3, most importantly, what to do once you know that your child has, in fact, developed EBV. So let's start with number 1. Well, 95% of us carry EBV, so it just depends on when your body is compromised, when your immune system is compromised. This is how the virus likes to reactivate. But sometimes kids are with other kids and they just contracted from another child, right? Excuse me, I warned you. And so let's talk about the most common presentation, and that would be tonsils. So tonsils are the most common entry for the virus. And so kids notoriously have inflamed tonsils, right? And there is a debate, is it EBV or is it strep infection? So both can affect tonsils, and in some cases, children develop chronic tonsillitis, and eventually the doctors recommend removal of the tonsils. So with that situation, if that's your situation, I would strongly recommend against making a speedy decision to remove tonsils, because tonsils are such an important part of the immune system. Once you remove them, they're gone. Instead, the doctor may try antibiotics, presuming that this is a strep infection. It's a bacterial infection. So if a child doesn't respond to that, that's probably leading towards EBV. Okay, so then you just don't want to touch the tonsils. Here's what I would really recommend in a case like that. Talk to your pediatrician to test the child for Epstein-Barr virus infection. I'm going to list 4 antibodies that you need to request. Be aware that one of them is probably going to be missed because it's not typically part of the EBV panel that labs provide. And sometimes even if the doctor adds the one that is often missing, the lab will, I don't know why, miss that one anyway. So number 1, VCA IgM. Number 2, VCA IgG. Number 3, EBNA IgG. And number 4, this is the one that may be missing, is EA IgG, early antigen. This is without early antigen, I'm just going to tell you straightforwardly. Without early antigen, your doctor should not be able to diagnose anything related to EBV. It's just not possible. You have to have all those 4 and analyze them together. So with that, I would really strongly recommend that you get my book. There's an entire chapter on lab interpretation. We're going to talk about that a little bit further in this training. Very, very important for you. Very important. It is very important not to rely on doctors' reading of the lab report, because in many cases it's not going to be done correctly. I'm going to walk you through that in a moment. So, what if your child doesn't present as tonsils? What else can the child present? Lots of symptoms. Our website has all kinds of laundry list of symptoms if you want to go to ebvhelp, HELP.com. But let me walk you through a couple of examples. Could be fever or fever-like symptoms. Sometimes it's plain fever, sometimes it feels like fever, but it's not quite fever. It's very odd. It's very common for EBV. There may be aches and pains, any myalgia, so any muscle pain, any achiness. The child can be really fatigued and really weak. There can be ringing in the ears. There can be headaches. There can be skin rashes. Some skin rashes are really pretty aggressive. Sometimes stomach ache, sometimes inability to eat, and sometimes spleen can be enlarged, so there can be a referred pain in the middle section of the belly. I had a case when one of my clients had to carry her 12-year-old daughter from the car into the house because the daughter was so weak. This is kind of how EBV rolls. So, so in general, when you follow medical literature, is if the doctor does everything properly, and the patient has some kind of chronic acute illness that is not responding to all the therapies that the doctor provided, the suspicion is that it's EBV, and this is studied. So if your pediatrician has been trying different things and nothing is working, you really need to test for EBV. All right. Now I'm going to tell you the game changer for parents, for you as a parent of a child. This is the most empowering tool you can have. I'm going to walk you through how to interpret your child's lab results for EBV. Yes, you can do this. Yes, you can. A real game changer. So, as I said, there's an entire chapter in my book, and I really, really recommend it because there's all kinds of possible presentations and typical and atypical lab results. The chapter in my book is based 100% on medical literature, and it's not my opinion. It's not disputable. It's black and white. And unfortunately, doctors are not reading the literature. They don't have time. I don't blame them. Their training on EBV is very old. It is obsolete. It is not adequate. And I feel like not just pediatricians, but in general, medical community tends to misdiagnose EBV based on the old-fashioned traditional training on lab interpretation, which does not work in the case of EBV. It's different. So I'll explain that the most common error is the assumption that IgM is current infection, IgG is past infection. So in most of the cases when we have misdiagnosis is where the doctor looks like all IgGs are, let's say, flagged and they're elevated, but IgM is normal. And so in traditional interpretation of any other pathogen, that would clearly mean that this is a past infection. Unfortunately, it's not this way with EBV. IgM is not current infection necessarily. An early antigen, EA-IgG, it is IgG, but it is current reactivation. If you're confused, don't worry. Everyone is confused. Doctors are confused, So if they don't spend the time reviewing medical literature, they will not know that. They will not anticipate that. And they most likely will tell you this has nothing to do with EBV, okay? And I've seen this story in adults. I've seen this story over the years. This is why there's an entire chapter. I really need you to read it. It's not that difficult once you look at your results or your child's results and you read the chapter. You can do this, and you can bring that to your doctor. Say, look, this is what medical literature says. So you can actually educate your doctor. It's really, really crucial. So you don't go through that rabbit hole, because I've seen that people go for years looking under the wrong tree because the doctors misdiagnosed based on that traditional IgG versus IgM understanding. Don't let that happen to you, because, like I said, children respond to therapy so fast if you have a strategy, and you don't want this to become a chronic illness that will recur over the years, in adulthood, in teenage years, in college, and then it can be disabling and can cause autoimmunity. You don't want that trajectory for your child. You can really stop it right now. And it is the tool you have in your hands. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Okay, so number 3. Well, we have confirmation. You understand the labs. You know this is what it is. What do we do now? This is the best news. So dietary interventions, supplements interventions, and lifestyle interventions. I'm going to walk you through them briefly. And I would say everything is in my book again. So this would be a great resource for you as a parent. So let's start with diet. In general, you want to focus on fiber, so whole foods, as clean as possible, as much organic as possible, and as many antioxidants as possible. Antioxidants are in fruits, berries, blueberries, wild blueberries. Just enjoy real food. I would use simple sweeteners like organic maple syrup and nothing else if you want something sweet. All the refined junk foods, unnatural, store-bought desserts, all that should go. There are wonderful simple desserts you can make. Honestly, so many things you can make for your kids at home and make them together if the kid is big enough. Um, Another important thing is the fats. I would remove all oils except extra virgin olive oil, the best you can get. Literally, all other oils go, please, and have a quality omega-3. So I'm gonna make sure that I list all the resources, all the links for you. I'm making a list for myself here. Um, Underneath in the notes. So when we post this in our YouTube channel, you will have all the links, the resources to guide you. Okay, so diet, straightforward, whole foods, a lot more in the book. Lifestyle. 3 things in the lifestyle. Actually, water should probably go into diet part. Make sure you have filtered water, good quality filter. Filter. We're gonna put that put a link for you as well. Wi-Fi and mold. Wi-Fi. You cannot afford having Wi-Fi technology all over your kid. So the Wi-Fi, baby monitor, or the Wi-Fi gadgets, the Wi-Fi toys for kids. I need you to stop all that. I also need you to check if you have smart meter. If you do, ask your electricity provider to remove it and install an analog. Or if that's not an option, buy a smart meter guard. It's a cover, it's a Faraday box, it's a metal box, and just put it on. Very important. And another thing is router. If you have Wi-Fi at home, put the router in a Faraday box as well. There's a lot of those available. And what else do I want to mention? Kill switch. Techwellness.com has a great kill switch. If you have to use Wi-Fi, you can literally click on the button and it turns off the Wi-Fi for the night when everybody's in bed. Very, very important. If you can, optimally, for the whole family, for everyone, not just your child, but especially for a developing brain, for your child, is to move to Ethernet, not have Wi-Fi at home. That's a huge Wi-Fi has huge impact on EBV and on the child. And the biggest one is mold. Make sure you test your home, because the question is, why did my child develop acute EBV at this time? What triggered it? Mold is a very frequent trigger. And so you want to check, is there mold in my washing machine? Is there mold under my fridge? Is there mold around the windows in the basement if you have one, under the carpeting? I've seen it all over. And also when kids go to, either school or the daycare, public buildings like schools oftentimes have mold. So a car can have some mold. So like tracking where your child feels better and where your child feels worse, which room, this is really important. And a combination of Wi-Fi and mold and EBV is really a triple whammy. This is the worst combination you can have. So I would say, Wi-Fi seem to really irritate mold, and so there's more mycotoxins that are produced as a result. But of course, Wi-Fi also instigates EBV reactivation. So you want to take care of these. So you will have some cleaning to do, but this is good for lifestyle for the whole family long term, honestly, And number three, the most important thing is supplements. So I'm going to link a fabulous study from 2006 by Dr. Flavin. This was read that because Dr. Flavin walks you through the supplements she used for the children in that study, the dosages, the supplements, and the protocol she came up with in that study is very similar to the protocol I use. And basically, we did not know of each other. I stumbled upon this study right before I finished writing my book. So I was able to add it to the book. Thanks goodness, because it's very important. And it's a study that is extremely important, and most likely your doctor has never seen it. So hopefully with the book, it's now coming to more doctors. So basically, there were, I think, 50 boys with enlarged spleens in a hospital setting. And she was able to reverse engineer, this was acute EBV, within 24, 48 hours to complete remission of it. And that is a proof that EBV is treatable, and sometimes really rapidly, and especially in kids. I tracked Dr. Flavin. I was so impressed with her study, and we're still in touch. She's amazing. And, the saddest thing that she told me is that she shared this protocol with different children's hospitals, and none of them was interested. Which means it is upon you as a parent to take it in your hands, because you will not be able to really rely on the medical community unless the doctor has been trained by me, unless the doctor is familiar with the book and has been studying EBV, which is, less likely. So you have that study. We're going to link it below, of course. You have that study in your hand. It's available online, and that can lead you. I'm going to give you one more bonus. One of the things that Dr. Flavin, if I remember, did not include in her protocol is vitamin D. I would have to double check, but I think it wasn't part of it. But I have noticed with children that are compromised that oftentimes they are really deficient in vitamin D for many reasons, and reasons are obvious. You don't see kids running naked in the sunshine these days. My mom did that, had me run naked on the beach in summer in my hometown. We were lucky enough. So I have a strong immune system. And vitamin D is really a hormone, and it's antimicrobial, antiviral. And make sure that you have your child tested for vitamin D. Assume it's low. And if you look at the range in the lab report, your child should be towards the upper end of the range, not in the middle, not lower. With a norm, you want to excel. So the assumption is you probably will want some vitamin D. We have a fabulous vitamin D dropper on our website. I'm going to link that for you. So to sum up, it's a little long of a training, but it is important. So you have everything you need. So moving forward, what are your options? Number one, you can do it yourself. get my book, read the chapter, like learn it, how to interpret your lab, what labs to um, get that done. Get the proper lab and the proper lab interpretation so you know if it's EBV or not. Even if your doctor has a traditional training and will tell you, like I told you, that it's only in the past. And number two, if it's positive, then grab Dr. Flavin's study, review the protocol there. Number three, then go to our ebvhelp.com shopping website. I'm going to list that for you underneath. And grab the EBV Ultimate Bundle on that website. It's actually shop.ebvhelp.com. That's where it is. And also attached to each product, so if there is licorice and vitamin D, attached to each product, if you click on the product, I have a video training just like this today, just for this particular nutrient. So make sure you don't miss that. Watch that, educate yourself. It's very empowering. There's one for vitamin D, so make sure you watch that as well. Don't miss that one. That's really, I think vitamin D is a big missing point in kids. Now, if you need support, there's a couple of things you can do. Like if you are not confident, if this is confusing, if this is overwhelming, even in my book, I recommend hiring an experienced clinical nutritionist, not a dietitian, a clinical, fully licensed nutritionist. Functional nutritionist would be the best. See if you can find somebody locally. But if you would like to work with us through our EBV Global Institute, I do have a breakthrough call available. It's a 20-25 minutes paid consult where we can discuss your case and see if this is a good fit for you, because we do have a complete turnkey EBV recovery program. And so you could run for your child through the program with me personally. And so you have options. So you can just read the book, do it on your own. I think you can do that. Like I said, children respond really beautifully when you have the right resources. So with that, you may want to watch this a few times and just understand it's all possible. You can help your child. It doesn't have to be a long term. It doesn't have to turn into autoimmunity or health challenges in future. You can really turn it around really quick. Thanks so much, and see you on the next training.